Hi guys, Jennifer here. Welcome back to my channel. We are continuing to work on these Cinch journals that I told you I'd come back and show you how to use the Cinch. So I'm going to show you how I was able to do these. It's a little bit trickier when you have a journal that is not the exact size listed in the directions. So in these basic directions, this tells you what size your book is. So this book is actually 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. That's what the cover is. So because of that, I can't directly pull peg number 8. So if I was doing, let's say, an 8.5 by 11 paper, okay, let's say I was using a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, I would want my binding here on the left side, so it would be an 11-inch journal. And for that, I would pull out these pegs. So these pegs are numbered 1 through 12. And I'm going to show you here in just a minute what I had to do, but it says if your book is 11 inches, then you would pull out peg number 10. Well, my book is not exactly 4 inches, so I can't pull out number 8. And the other difference about this little journal is that I'm not going to the top or the bottom. I'm doing it right in between. So the easiest way, and I was watching the Pink Ape, and it was like perfect timing, because I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? And I need an easy way to do it. So she basically made a template. So I'm going to make a template that's a little bit bigger than my book, just so that I can center my book page and see the bottom. You'll get what I'm talking about here in a minute. So my book is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So I'm going to take this piece of scrapbook paper. It's not scrapbook, it's just cardstock. And I'm going to do 4 1/2 by 3 1/2. Okay. So I'm going to make a guide because I want this to be centered, these holes to be centered. I want an even amount here and an even amount here. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to find the middle. So I'm just going to fold this in half. Okay. I'm folding it in half just so I can get the middle. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. I'm going to put some ink on there just so I can see the center better. So there you go. There's my center, okay? So this is how I'm going to center the journal. All right. So I'm going to take this, and if you notice here, it says center. And that is where I'm going to I'm going to line the arrow up with the center of my paper here. Okay, I know you can't see that, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I am going to use some washi tape to hold this down so it doesn't move around. Okay. So now I have my paper and I have it centered right on my line. Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you the little journal that I made here. I used the little deer, and then I cinched it. You can see where I did that. And I used the pink one. And then here are my dividers. I do think I'm going to put some tabs on there because they do get lost in here. So these were my 4x6 index cards, and I cut them in half. And I got these from Walmart, the Pen and Gear. I got a 10-pack of these so I could make a bunch of these. And the 10-pack of 100s were $10, so it was perfect for me. That way I can make a bunch of these for the market. So anyway, I'm going to put the tabs on here, but this is how they worked out. And I could only fit 14, 14, and 14. So 15 was just a little bit too tight for this 5/8 inch binding. So this was the pack of wires I got. So you get 16 of them, and they're 0.625, which is I think about 5/8 of an inch. Okay. So now the next step is I'm going to take my journals here because I wanted to pick them out here. I think I'll use the same 3 papers that I used. And then I'm going to line the inside with this. Decided to go with that one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these in, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I've got all the papers ready and the covers. Here are my 3 inside pages, and I'm going to show you how to cut these. Okay, let me move this out of here. They should be all right there. All right. So I'm going to move this over. And sorry, my desk isn't big enough to have this up high. I don't have a good stand for my phone, but it'll work. Okay, so this is the cover, and this is the inside, and this is the back. So you want to make sure that when you're cutting them, you're cutting them just as you are, or just how they're going to lay when you open and close your book, okay? So the first thing we'll do is we'll cut one of the inside pages. So these are going to be the dividers, and I'm going to put 14 sheets of these in between each one. So as you can see, I've got my little center there, and I'm just going to eyeball to make sure that I've got the same amount of room over here as I do over here. Okay, nothing's going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to slide this. Now you want your paper, if your book is going to be like this, your paper is going to be like this because you want the holes on this side. Okay, now here's the difference with the pegs. So normally I would have pulled out that peg number 8 or pushed it in, right? But because I am not using a conventional size book, I did this template. All right, so I'm gonna do 6 of these. I was originally gonna do 5 so I could get the most out of my binding rings. But the problem with that is that there is no center peg. So you really have the center of the book and then the holes on either side. The center is here, and I want 3 on each side of the center, like that. So I'm gonna lift this arm, and then you can push in the 3 top ones, and then the 3 bottom ones. Okay, so now I'm going to get 6 holes, and these are not going to punch. All right, hope this is making sense. It did to me at while I was doing it. So so now I've got my 6 holes. All right, so I'm going to do that for all of these. I'm going to center my paper, and then I'm going to punch. Again, I'm the paper needs to be oriented on the left, right? So that's why it's going in that direction. So let's see, I'm gonna do this one. All right. So I've got my 3 dividers. Then I'm gonna do my cover, okay? So it's gonna go on the left side there. And I did my paper just big enough so that I could make sure I had an even spacing on either side, so I could make sure I get the middle. Okay, guys, I don't know why I get so nervous doing this, but I do. So here goes. Now that just cut through chipboard like butter. So there's the cover. And then remember, you want to cut in the same way, on the same, you know, like if you're opening your book like this and your binding is going to be on the left side, then you don't want to do it like this because then it won't be on the correct side, if that makes any sense. All right. All right. There we go. So now I've got my covers, those dividers, and then we'll go ahead and I've got to cut these. I need to cut several of these, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I did about 3 at a time. It was the easiest to keep aligned because these sheets are not exactly perfectly cut. So it could be off just a tiny bit. So I'm going to make sure the height is good. And then the side is where I'm going to make sure it's all lined up. And then I'm going to center it here again and cut my inside pages. So once you get the hang of it, guys, you can just keep going. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of these that I need, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm back, and do not laugh at me. I thought I recorded when I was putting this one together, and when I went to check, I realized I did not record that last part of this on how I put the book together. So now that we have all of our pages cut, just pretend like this was the original one I was going to do. Oh, good. So we have the dividers and 14 pages, dividers 14 pages, and divider 14 pages. Okay, and then we have our 2 covers. So next we're going to go ahead and bind it. And I picked a black ring for this one. So let's go ahead, and what I did to make sure that I cut it in the right place was I just put it in there like that. Okay, and then you're going to cut right here before the next, oops, I'm sorry, right here, right before the next, whatever. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to cut right after the 6th one on the opposite side. Okay, so we're going to get the cutters. Okay, so this is the last one coming through the hole, so I'm going to cut here. Cut it in the middle, just like that. Okay, close to the middle as you can. And then we can reuse the rest of that. Now we're going to go ahead and take the wire and we're going to place it on the side here. If I were doing a long one, like a bigger book, then I would fill, you know, obviously not all the pegs, but it fits on, I guess, 1, 2, 3 of the pegs here, just like that. And then I want to explain something in the directions that will make so much sense. Okay, so we want to hide the seam of the wire. So to hide the wire seam inside the back cover, first thread the inside papers, then the front cover, and then the back cover, and they should be facing each other. So this is the front and this is like actually the back, and they're going to be kissing each other basically. So after binding, then we flip the back cover around and it will hide the connection. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go from the bottom. We're going to put the pages in. Okay. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is what I want to show when I first open the book, because it looks really nice with this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the front cover. So this is my front cover. So I'm putting the front cover in. And then the back cover, right? So the back is going to kiss the front cover. Okay, perfect. So then I've got my pages in. Okay, make some room here. And on the back here is where you have to set your binder size, your ring size, your wire size. So mine is 5/8 of an inch. So you're gonna push down and turn to the right until it goes over to the 5/8 inch. I know it's very tiny, so it's at the 5/8 inch, and I like it just a little bit tighter. I'm gonna go a little bit past the 5/8 because I want my rings as close as possible. All right, so now I'm going to release the hatch, whoop, and then I'm going to put this in. I'm leaving this open so I can stick my finger right in between there, and we want this part and this part to touch the back. So we're going to push that in there, and then we're going to press it down. Same that you put the holes in is what you use to bind it. And so there you go. See how close it is? Now if you don't like it that close, you could just leave it on the 5/8. But then once you flip this around, now your binding is hidden there basically. So isn't that cute? So this is the one that we were originally putting together. Okay, and there's the hidden part. And then we did this one. Isn't that cute? So there you go, guys. I mean, really, it is awesome. I really love this machine. And once you get the hang of it, it's really super easy. And if I decide to do any larger journals where I would then use the actual ruler part and stuff like that, I might come back and show you that. But I haven't decided yet because these are super fun and easy. But if I had to cut paper, I don't know what I would use. So I'll figure that out, and maybe or maybe not. All right, guys, so I appreciate you coming back, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that I helped you, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you soon, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye for now.